Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Cara DeFalco along with Mike Favetta, and May is National Celiac Awareness Month. More than 25% of Americans, or around 3.1 million people, are on a gluten-free diet, and it can be hard to find good snacks and desserts on that gluten-free diet, but one entrepreneur is changing the game with Mightylicious Gluten-Free Cookie Company. Please welcome the founder and president, Carolyn Haeler. Carolyn, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for coming on.
Great to have you on the show. So, Cara, tell us about Mightylicious. What inspired you to create it?
Yeah, it was my celiac disease. So it's an opportune time to talk about my company and also celiac disease. I was diagnosed in 2012 at the age of 31 with celiac disease, and it had a profound impact on my life and my body and my immune system and my everyday. I live with the disease I still live with the disease. It's not something that's curable, but it's something I lived with for 7 years and sort of struggled in the marketplace to find products that were both better for me, healthy for me, foods that would heal my body, but also tasted good. I'm sure that a lot of people can relate to trying gluten-free or better for you products that are a little underwhelming in the taste or texture category. And I literally had one day I woke up and I was like, I'm just going to do better. I'd gone to business school. One of my professors in business school was a founder of Honest Tea, and I got really inspired by that, but never had an idea. And this was it for me. It was I was like, I'm going to make a better cookie. Everyone in the world deserves a good cookie, and I'm going to do it. And the brown butter chocolate chip, which was just on the screen, was my flagship flavor. Spent 3 months developing it, walked into a Whole Foods in the Upper East Side where I live in Manhattan. And the buyer at the bakery counter loved it and said, go talk to some other stores and maybe we'll onboard you to our regional supplier program. And they did. And
Amazing.
It's just sort of been, up and running since then. We've just grown exponentially since that day.
So how many varieties of cookies do you have? And can you tell us a little bit about, well, you did tell us about some of your initial ones, but how many varieties are there?
Yeah, so we've grown. Initially, we've launched with 3 flavors: brown butter chocolate chip, salted peanut butter, and double Dutch. And we now have 7 flavors. And we have 4 flavors that are completely gluten-free, vegan, and non-GMO.
Wow.
We just launched those last year, and it was based on the feedback we got from customers really wanting something that's better for you, something that's plant-based, something that's not only better for you, but better for the environment, and that also tastes good, which is no small feat to accomplish.
It is not.
But my number one best-selling flavor is our oatmeal coconut, which is our vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO, kosher certified product. So we did it. We accomplished the task, and I'm really proud of it.
That is something to be proud of. And you mentioned the struggles of having celiac disease and trying to find something that tastes good, especially. What are some tips that you could give our viewers for staying on the gluten-free track?
Yeah, I mean, it is hard. I don't have a choice in the matter. I react to gluten in less than 180 seconds, so it's something that I have to adhere to. Gluten is found in a lot of things where you wouldn't suspect it. It's used in coloring, so caramel color like Pepsi Cola, Coca-Cola, even ginger ale has gluten in it. They use it as a filler, so you could be eating cinnamon and not realizing it has gluten in it. They also use it as a preservative, so sometimes even cold cuts will have gluten in it. So my recommendation is always look for the gluten-free symbol, certified gluten-free. Otherwise, there may be gluten in it, but they don't have to declare it because it's such a small amount, or the manufacturer doesn't even know that there's gluten in it, because that is something that happens frequently. Certainly, if you can't find a gluten-free product that satisfy you, certainly learn to bake from home. That's what I had to do. They do now make great gluten-free flours, coming up with gluten-free mixes. I love pancakes. So making your own pancakes. But other than that, it is still quite the struggle. It requires things like eating bananas for breakfast.
Carolyn, and it sounds like your allergy, your celiac is truly severe. I mean, that 180-second thing just blew my mind.
Yeah.
What is your take with Mightylicious in terms of, because I know you mentioned, okay, we want them to be gluten-free, we want them to taste good, we want them to be, good for the environment too. So how do you go about kind of sourcing some of these ingredients? Because I know for a lot of folks, especially as like gluten-free became more popular, if you will. There's a lot of things out there that are gluten-free that are not at all necessarily good for you.
Yes. Yeah, so we actually, that's a great question. Sourcing ingredients is one of our biggest challenges, especially in this post-COVID era where the global supply chain just feels like it got more complicated. And also there's been a huge surge in demand for better for you products. I mean, think about like we use coconut in some of our cookies, and there's been a huge surge for coconut flour, coconut milk, coconut water. There's only so many coconut trees. You can't like grow a coconut tree overnight. And so that places a lot of stress on the supply chain. And what we do is we work directly with the mills, with the farms whenever we can to know that we're sourcing the ingredients from suppliers that we can trust, but also that we have direct input and control over the quality of those ingredients and where they're coming from. So there are a lot of gluten-free. So being gluten-free doesn't necessarily make it better for you, but for someone like me or someone who has an autoimmune disease that's not necessarily celiac disease, but it could be a number of different illnesses.
Right.
You are healing your body by not poisoning it with wheat or other things that you may react to. So it is important that like I said, the certification, knowing that there's no cross-contamination, knowing that everything is being tested, and then looking for those manufacturers that do go the extra mile to make sure that the ingredients are pure and clean and sourced from the right places.
Well, Carolyn Haeler, the website is Mightylicious.com. Where can we purchase the cookies?
You can purchase them at Mightylicious.com. We're in retailers across the U.S. We're in Walmart, we're in Whole Foods, we're in 40 different states, but Mightylicious.com. And if you order during celiac month, you get use the code glutenfree20, you get 20% off your entire order, and all shipping is free.
Great
Sounds
stuff.
great.
Carolyn, thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time, and the cookies sound delicious.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, incredible story. And like she said, just that, such a span between a gluten intolerance and, celiac disease or her, severe reaction like that where she'll be sick within moments. So definitely something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, and you really find gluten in all these places you wouldn't expect. I'm glad she dropped those little tidbits.
Right? Yeah, we wouldn't think to look in those places. Absolutely. No. All right, guys, that does it for us today on the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Cara DeFalco.
And I'm Mike Favetta. Thanks for watching. Don't forget you can join us live every Thursday morning here at 9 a.m. on ONNJ.com. Have a great weekend.